Welcome to DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel, so let's get started. All right, welcome to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Detzel, and today's special guest is Cait Keen. Cait, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to talk to you. I think it's been a long time coming. We've gone back and
Yeah.
forth a little bit.
Yeah, look, I think I tried over the summer to talk to you, and you just got super busy with we'll talk about this in a minute, wedding plans and all these things, which is coming up. So that's exciting. And congratulations in a few weeks. So,
Yes, 2.5 weeks from today. Thank
yeah,
God. I'm very excited for to have I'm very excited to just marry the man I'm marrying, which is
yeah,
number one.
number one.
Obviously, there's been a lot of plans have gone into this as well. We have a big family, which is difficult when you are.
Mm.
I wanted a smaller wedding, but it's turned into a larger wedding. It's going to be great. I'm going to look around and be happy everyone's there. But yeah, we've been engaged for over a year. And I just think we've been talking about it so much. We're both let's just straight to start the marathon and get to the finish line. We're done.
Well,
We're
speaking of
ready.
marathons, we'll be talking about some of that in a minute. But yeah, look, weddings are been through some. It can be stressful and just
Yes.
a lot of work, time, and effort. And then once it's over, it's a big stress relief. You're now married, now you can start your life. And that's really awesome. I'm really excited for you.
Thank
Super
you.
cool.
It'll be great. There's been a lot of challenges the last couple of weeks, but we
We'll
will
talk about
persevere.
that. Yeah, we'll talk some about that in a bit if you want. Now, is your fiance, is he a runner at all or anything? Or
He has started running. He
okay.
was actually supposed to run Berlin
Nice.
a couple weeks ago. We were both supposed to run Berlin. You and I were talking a little bit before. I'm happy to share this completely. I'm not shy about it
Okay.
at all. I actually think I can be an advocate for this condition because I knew nothing about it. I knew nothing about the surgery I was going to have. I was diagnosed with a very large, it ended up being 11 centimeters circumference
Oh,
around fibroid that was like in my uterus that was like causing me all types of problems. And it took me 4 doctors and about 7 or 8 years to like complaining to get to somebody
wowzers.
that listened to me. Yeah, it was nonsense. Like, I can't even believe like my iron, obviously, like something runners already deal with, female runners,
Yeah.
your iron is low. You have a hard time recovering, tired a lot. And it was always just chalked up to that's really tough.
Hmm.
I'm really sorry. Take some ibuprofen and you're going to be okay. But my symptoms just got a lot more extreme at the beginning of 2023. So much so that my legs would just go numb. I would be like laying on my bathroom floor, like I couldn't eat, couldn't hold anything down. And this was every month for
Yeah.
a week. And it wasn't just the week of, I was starting to have a lot of issues weeks before. And I just was losing a little bit of like my own life. So when I found this doctor who'd help me, I scheduled my surgery for November, obviously, because we were supposed to do Berlin September 1st, our wedding October 25th, go on our honeymoon. And then we were
Oh,
going to be like, great, surgery in November, and then
yeah.
ride it out through the holidays. And I was losing so much blood. My doctor was super concerned. I just couldn't, nothing was getting any better. And we were really nervous that I was going to need a blood transfusion. So I went to go see her, like in like tears, like one day. And she finally was like, because I'd had to check in with her every week, like what my status was, what was happening, what was I noticing. And she was like, I can't let you push this off any longer. I'm very worried for you and I'm very nervous about it. So I had an open myomectomy, which is like a full, almost like C-section like incision in my abdomen. And then since my fibroid was like all the way in the muscle lining of my uterus, it was like squashing my uterus so much that it like looked like a wishbone. They had to like fully open my uterus, take it all out and reconstruct and heal me from the inside. So that was 3 weeks ago today. So I have not been running for the last 5 weeks,
I would think not.
obviously, which is totally fine. I needed the break. I needed the rest, which is great.
Yeah.
It has been a challenge, just like it was my time with my friends and my time to get like my thoughts out and organized and run with women that might be like going through something I'm going through with planning a wedding and dealing with like certain emotions. And now for the last 3 weeks, like it's all just been by myself. I can text my friends, but it's not the same as like running side by side where you
Yeah.
have that like camaraderie with someone. So it's definitely, and I had never had a major surgery, so I'd never been put under general anesthesia. Whoa. I just didn't know like the effects of that on you psychologically, sorry, and physically for even weeks. Like I just never knew that. So I'm really I'm doing much better. This actually is such a like wonderful thing that you've asked me to do because I feel like it brings me like a little normalcy and a little
Yeah.
like I get to finally speak about something I love, like again, because I've been taken out of it so aggressively. So I'm happy
Yeah,
that we're
that's true.
here.
Look, I'm glad that it sounds like things went okay with the surgery
Yes,
and stuff
had a
like that.
great
And
surgery.
you're going to be feeling way better in a few weeks.
Yes, we'll get there. Once I'm laying on a beach in Mexico and I don't have to plan a wedding and I'm fully healed,
Yeah,
I'm
that'll help.
95% healed and I can drink a margarita, I'm going to be great. I will be fabulous.
You want to drink right now, just
Yeah,
listening to
right.
Elvis Presley.
Yeah.
Let's look, 7 years, and they just
7
found
years.
out
My
not so long
symptoms
ago. That's
started,
insane. I
like,
mean,
right
that's
around
crazy.
2018. 2017, I could say a little bit, but 2018 is when I can trace back, like, my
Mm,
first few really major episodes and some of, like, my major issues, and then I've kept, like, a mental log. This year, this changed, and this year, this
mm,
started, and then 2023 is when I noticed a big shift in my ability to like recover and sleep and just maintain some like level of I just what don't you don't sleep very well. You just
yeah.
feel fatigue all the time. I never knew why. So I'm really thankful that I found someone that would listen to me.
Hey, this podcast, I didn't mean to start it this way, but
No,
I'm
it's
glad it
okay.
did. And I think
Yeah,
that I was going to just start talking about your journey.
that's
Let's
all
just
right.
step back a little bit because
Okay.
I'm glad things are getting better, and I'm sure we'll bump into some of this for sure. But look, you've done some amazing things. In 2020, you went to Olympic trials, and you've been in the running community for quite a while. And I just kind of want to step back, way back to where it all started for you. Let's think about maybe it's high school or college and wherever you want to start. I'd love to hear from the
Yeah.
beginning.
I have been running a long time. I started running cross country my freshman year of high school. I naturally just was, I wouldn't say naturally fast. It's not what I was. Naturally gravitated to the sport because
Mm,
I think I just liked the push and I liked the feeling of it. My mom used to make a lot of jokes. Like when I was really little, I would run home from other sports practices, like where in the
That's
town.
great.
I didn't grow up in DFW. I moved here when I started high school, but
Mm,
I actually grew up in a very little charming town outside of San Francisco. And so my
well,
mom used to take us to tennis and I would run home. I like hated tennis so much that I would run home. And she'd be like, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna think I'm torturing this child." And then I
how far
ran
was it
track.
from home?
It was like probably half a mile. It wasn't
Oh, okay.
anything,
Yeah.
but my sister is in the car. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed. But I ran track like sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. I was
Okay.
more of the run the 400, do the 800 stuff they make like the younger kids do. They didn't really put
Yeah.
us all on the mile yet. And then once I moved to DFW. I moved to Fort Worth to start high school. And I think we were just going through so many changes as a family, like I was moving for the second time across the country to Texas. And I finally was like, I'm just going to run. Like it's a
Mhm.
fall sport. I'm just going to run. I
Yeah.
started doing it more leading into that summer because I was just trying to like process, be by myself. You're a 13-year-old angry kid whose parents are moving them again. That's where it started. And then I ran all throughout high school. I never won any state championships, but was always second or third in the
No way.
state in Texas. I didn't win a single time, but I was the queen of second and third place about 5 times.
That sucks.
It was horrible, but
It's good, but it sucks.
I
Yeah.
got my redemption on the girls who beat me when I got to college when I
Mm.
beat them. So that was great and it was all good. But yeah, then
College is probably way better once you get
it's
to
what
that. That's
way
it.
more it's way more validating
Yeah.
than it was in
100%.
high school. And then I went to SMU. Actually, I ran cross country
Oh,
and track at SMU. I went in as a walk-on and then I ended up getting a full scholarship
wow.
by the time I was a senior. We had a team from all over the world. So, we had scholarships mainly for the women who came here from overseas
Mm.
and they were phenomenal teammates. And then I was the first American walk on to get a full scholarship in the 30 years existence of our
Wow.
program. So that was such an incredible day. I never will forget it. I wish they used to film people back in 2013 getting scholarships like they do now because it would have I would have loved to.
You did say it's highly
Yeah.
expensive
Oh, it was,
college,
I'm still paying for what
right?
I couldn't afford before that. Almost there. I'm
Exactly,
almost done.
exactly.
But, it was expensive and I felt like it was not just my gift, it was
Mm,
also like a gift for my parents who had worked
mm.
so hard to keep me there when I probably shouldn't have been there, and I'm really grateful for that, and it was awesome, and my coach from SMU, full circle, has come back to be my coach now,
No
and
way.
she's in my wedding, and she will be reading at my wedding, and she is so dear to me, and
What's her name?
knows Kathy Casey
Okay.
she's a triathlete. She actually stayed in DFW for a long time. And then in 2020, her and her husband moved down to Austin, but she's a coach for Rogue Running down in
Okay.
Austin.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
she coaches a lot of people. She's phenomenal. I really walked into her office when I was 17 and told her I wanted to be on the team. And that's just like history just writes itself from there. I can't believe that relationship has become what it is just from that
You
interaction.
never know.
You never know. And now it's been not 25, 15 years since I met her. And we've gone on this journey now together. I stopped when I graduated in 2015. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I
Mm.
had a little bit of an identity crisis. I had no clue like how running fit into my new
Well,
graduated.
let's go back. So
Yeah.
you graduated college, but I'm curious about a story or two in college of
Yeah.
your running, how you
Mhm.
did. Were you a good run? Obviously, you're
Of
a good runner,
course.
but
Yeah.
share your story or two that you liked and just,
Definitely. I would say my freshman year, I really was figuring it out.
yeah, of course.
I was in our top 7 all 4 years of my career.
Okay.
But back half at the time, like freshman, trying to get through, trying to break in. My freshman year was just a story of trying to figure it out and then also trying
Yeah.
to balance this newfound like freedom away from home and like trying to did I care about being an athlete or did I care about going out and being a
Mhm.
sorority and meeting all these new people? So I had a hard time balancing that. I redshirted my second semester because I was injured,
Mm.
probably from not taking care of myself very well. I wouldn't say that my career really started to bloom until I was a junior
Okay.
when I like really had a hard conversation after my sophomore year track season. And it was like, do I want to do this how I like graduated from high school with the desire of I
Yeah.
want to be this good? Or have I lost that? And do I care anymore? And am I just trying to skate through this and get through it and not get the most out of it?
Yeah.
And so I had a very hard conversation with my coach at the time and like with myself. And I just decided I was going to go home for the summer and just get my shit together. I was
Yeah.
like, I buckled down and I came back at the end of that summer and for the beginning of my junior year. And I walked into my coach's office and she did not even recognize me. And she just looked at me and she was like, let's go.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. I
So
love that. That's
yeah,
inspiring.
it
All
was
right.
pretty like, I was
Yeah.
like, you're right. Like, I don't care about SMU is an incredible place. It is very challenging sometimes if you can get caught up in a lot of the social aspect of SMU. It can be like any place. SMU is not
Anyway.
alone in that. I think
Yeah.
that is anywhere. It
Any
was just
college.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was just my experience where I was doing a lot of partying and I was doing
Mhm.
a lot of that kind of stuff. And I was in a sorority and I like let a lot of that run my life. And then I just decided like I was going to run and not let that run my life. I got back to my junior year and our team was like so good. We all had the best team chemistry. We all got along and we like crushed it and we won conference. I actually won 6 conference titles like my entire career. I didn't know after
Dang.
like my sophomore cross country season, I had never lost a cross country title, not individually as a team.
Yeah.
And then track was like phenomenal. So, I was really lucky to be like on the teams that I was on with the women that I was on the team with. We didn't have a men's team, so we were very close. And when we won conference my junior year and then got to regionals, we were like this close to nationals and then had a poor finish with one of our teammates ended up not finishing the race. And then one of our 6 and 7 had to make up the points. And that kind of hurt us a little bit, even though, I mean, everyone was phenomenal, but yeah, it was like the most heartbreaking race to where like our next year, my senior year, we were all like, this is not happening again. And we made it to nationals my senior year.
Wow.
So That
So
was
what was the distance that you were? Is it 4 miles then?
we did a 5K and a 6K. It
Okay.
just depends. Like most of my conference championships when I was in Conference USA were 5K. And
Okay.
then the American conference was my senior season, and that was 2013. And we ran a 6K. And then most regionals were always 6Ks.
Did that wear you out? If you're used to the 5Ks and you had to go run a 6K and you're like, oh,
Not really. We really trained for it. Like we
okay.
at Norbuck Park, our coach
Yeah.
had a 1K loop and we did that, we did it 6 times.
Okay.
We trained at Norbuck all the time. It was actually really funny. Like my sophomore year of high school or my senior year of high school, I won district at Norbuck. And I just remember being like, oh, I'm never going to have to run here again. Thank God.
Now
And
you
then, like,
always have to
my
run there.
first day of practice at SMU, she pulls up to Norbuck, and I was like, "You've got to be fucking kidding me!"
You're
It was.
here all the time now.
I was like, I could trace that park in my mind. I could tell you
Yeah.
that. I haven't been there in 10 years, thank God, but I could still trace it in my mind.
That's
Just
funny.
grass, dry grass everywhere. Yeah, I wouldn't say it wore me out. I truly knew that my path was the longer distances.
Mhm.
So I just saw it as a game. I just saw it as I get better mentally. So bring it on. I loved the 6K. And then I did the 10K on the track. So I had nothing to really that I
That's
really
awesome.
worried about. Yeah.
Were you the fastest on your team or?
No, definitely not. I was probably like back 4, 5, and 6. We had a team my junior and senior year where you could have been anywhere any given meet.
Got it.
It was so crazy how close of a finish we all were. I think
That's
one
pretty
of our
cool though.
yeah, like my conference meet, I was 5th, but then like our regionals meet, I was 6th, and then one of my other meets, I would be 4th. Like we all were so close, especially in those 2 years, like
Hmm.
with ability. Sometimes someone would have a bad race and someone else would be like, I got it. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
very vocal with each other on courses. I will never forget that either. We were always like yelling at each other. And if we knew someone was around, I'd be like, I'm struggling. Get up here. Like we were very feisty. Yeah, it was a fun time
You
in
guys
my life.
made it a team sport.
It
Such an individual kind of
it
selfish
really
sport, but it was
yeah,
team. It's pretty
you're
cool.
right. Like anytime we had someone that was more selfish, they would always somewhat weed themselves out and
Yeah.
like they were never there for more than a full year or they would yeah, I hate this. Like sometimes someone like they got hurt because they were like doing too much
Yeah.
and they weren't listening or they ran on their off days and they ended up, more not able to compete and it weeded itself out. It was interesting to look back on when I hear other people's experience on like college cross country teams. I'm like, ours was like survive, get killed or be killed. Like we really had a team like pack mentality. And if you weren't on it, like it was, but
I love it.
it
I think
worked.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, right? The best of the best, and you have
Mhm.
to work as a team to make this happen.
Mhm.
What was your best time as a 5K back then?
Um,
Remember? Okay.
6. I don't think I've broken it since because I've not necessarily, I don't think I've trained for a 5K really since. It would be fun to have a really rested K. I've run a bunch of like low 17s
Yeah.
in the last 10 years, like in marathon builds, like in the
Mhm.
summer. And I'm like, man, how cool would that be if I had a nice fall, winter K that made me feel fast?
Some of the slots. Do you know about the slots?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of those guys over the summer did a lot of 5K, so they weren't necessarily training
Yeah.
in a training block. And I remember talking to Matt Campbell, and I started doing this too. I was fast as those guys, but I was like, why not train for some speed stuff? Do a bunch of 5Ks
So
and
hard.
just no, it is,
Yes.
but it's better than doing a half marathon in the summer.
Oh,
And so-
totally.
it's like,
100%. Last summer, 2024, I did like probably 5 or 6 5Ks
yeah,
just like in the Trinity 5000 at 7 o'clock at
yeah.
night. And I did it like 3 or 4 times. I actually would run it. It was 3 miles. It's from my house to the start line.
Oh,
So I'd
nice.
run there and then my soon to be husband would bike and then I'd do the race and then I'd run home and he'd bike home. It'd be pitch black by 9 o'clock at night, but it was great. That was last summer and this summer were vastly different for me, but I think that would be fun. I see a lot. I don't look at 5K training and think, oh, yeah, that looks great. I
Yeah.
actually look at it and I'm like, I have to run how many 200s? Like at
Yeah.
what pace? I'm not even a person that likes to do that like float thing between a rep. Like I don't like that. I'm gonna stand here, look at my watch, and catch my breath, and I'm gonna
Then
let you
I'm gonna
know
go
when I'm
again.
gonna go
Yeah.
again because I am
Exactly.
not. I can't do that stuff. I can, but I don't like doing that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. Even every time it says float, I'm like, are you sure I have to do that? I don't want to. So. I'm a
Yeah, there's
true
good.
I'm a true give me a marathon,
You are
give me an
now. That's
ultra.
right.
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
And
I
we'll
am
we'll
now. I
get
think
into
I
that.
was then. Yeah.
I don't still don't like it.
Yeah. No, when I was in college, I was like, give me a progression or a tempo run around White Rock. That's what I
And you
want to
did a
do.
tempo. Yeah,
Yeah. I
that's
would do a
great.
mile warm up and then I would tempo all the way to the Arboretum. And then my cool down would be Arboretum back to the, like that mile back to the parking lot.
Did you live in
That
Dallas
was it.
then? SMU. You
And
were at
at
either
SMU,
city. Got it.
yeah,
That makes sense.
yeah, we take the van. We'd all the
Yeah,
van over to White
love
Rock.
it.
Yeah, of
So one question for the college thing, and then we'll go on to, I'm just curious, as you see some of
course.
those women that, did were faster than you and everything else, did any of them start anything afterwards, like half marathons?
Yeah, a few. There's one from my team she's from London. She's from England. She
Yeah.
still competes. She still competes. Her name's Holly Archer. We don't really keep up with each other much anymore, but I do see posts from time to time. I know she ran London, I think last year. I think she
Mm.
ran like maybe in the low 240, high 230 range. It was wicked fast. She was a 1,500-meter runner. Her speed was insane. Her half marathon is so fast. I've kept up with her more like just if it's online, like
Yeah.
I see it, but we don't
You
talk.
don't really talk.
And
We could just say hello one day just on
yeah, one
Instagram.
day when
Hey.
I'm like, hey, I should just be like, hey, great job. You're doing amazing.
Exactly. Why
And
not?
then, yeah, and then there's another girl who lives in between. She was very smart. She was from Norway. So she lives between Norway and Boston. She
Mm.
ended up going to grad school, MIT. I've seen her run some halves and some fulls post, but no one has really done more competing. I think I knew that when I was finishing college, I wasn't done. One of my teammates, I'll never
Mm.
forget this. She ran off the track at regionals, like down in Austin. And I just remember her like ripping her number off. And she was like, I'm never doing this again. And she was like, I'm done. And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, I could never
Yeah.
I can't wait to just keep doing it. That wasn't the mindset I had, but I get why some people do. They're just like over it. They don't want to do it anymore. They want to do it for fun. And I think everyone's got a different idea of fun. Everyone's got a different fun scale.
You train really hard and it's some people just maybe were forced or were pushed, and
Yeah.
running's not easy. And to
No,
continue
totally.
to do as many miles as you do now or we do, I mean, it's a lot.
It
And plus
is.
keep a family and all that stuff. So I
Yeah.
don't deny that. I
Abs-
love it because a lot of different
Absolutely.
reasons. But all right, let's talk about that. So you graduated college, did pretty well, excited, and you didn't know exactly what you're going to do with running and stuff. Let's go from there.
Yeah, so I graduated. I had no clue. I was just like aimlessly wandering, I call it, for a little while until I like got my footing. I had to like mentally make the decision that I was going to qualify for the Olympic trials. Like
Oh,
I
wow.
was working in 2016 and I remember watching the trials like on TV and just being like, okay, I've got 4 years. Like I've got to make this decision that this is what I'm going to do for the next 4 years.
Mm,
That's what I'm going to focus on. And I ended up like living at home with my parents and like
nice.
I just went all in with it because at the time for like work, I had graduated from college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to be a college cross country coach, like
Yeah.
before I really knew what kind of time that was going to take from you. And I like thought that was my calling. It definitely wasn't. And I just didn't know. I wasn't the kind of person who like graduated from college and was like, I'm going to go to a big four and work at KPMG. And now I do work at a big company now, but like at the
Yeah.
time, I didn't know. And thank God I have wonderful parents who didn't let me like flounder, but
Of
they
course
literally,
they
my
won't.
dad sat me down. He was like, you can live here. You
Mm.
just have to make the decision. If this is what you're going to do, I need to see you all in on it. And I was like, okay, you got it. So yeah, I started figuring out how to train. I got a coach. I begged her to let me pay a smaller fee because I wasn't making a lot of money. Neely Gracie actually was my coach out of college and she's run a couple Olympic trials. She's pretty fast. And now she's got three kids. She's got a growing family. She's wonderful. But she took me on and we started 2016, late 2016, getting into, am I going to do some Ks, some
Yeah.
10Ks, some halves? And then my first marathon, I did Dallas at the end of 2017. And
Do any
I,
halves before? Or
I did some halves. Yeah. I
okay.
couldn't tell you. I think I ran,
No idea.
yeah, I don't remember that far at the time. I might have blacked them out. I ran like Dallas, maybe like rock and roll one
Yeah.
time, it like a St. Louis half. I can't remember a bunch of the other ones. I was always in the low 220 range, 120 range.
Same.
And yeah, 120, like I
Yeah.
could never get
So,
out of like, I
yeah.
couldn't get out of 120s. And so then I was like, all right, we're going to do Dallas. And
Yeah.
that was my goal. And that was my whole focus. I had never run like a longer and longer than 18 miles. I was 24. So I also was very
You're
young.
young.
Like I
Yeah.
think I see a lot of, there's been a lot of, there's a shift now. Like there's a lot of young
Yep.
people in college and out of college, like running big miles and
That's right.
marathons. When I was 24, I couldn't have like I was running maybe solely 45 miles a week. Like I still felt like I was so young
Yeah.
and I have so much time to do this, which maybe is a reason like I have not had a major injury, but
Mm.
to each his own too. But that's just how I've always seen it. But I just remember getting to like mile 18 at White Rock Lake and I just said to myself, like, uncharted territory, like, never run further than this. Like, what could be the,
You
what
never
could
did
go,
that in training or?
no, what could go wrong? And then we like went up Winstead and I just crashed and burned. So
Mm.
my first full was Dallas 2017. I ran like a 256. And
That's pretty good. For your
yes, I
first.
felt
That's not bad.
I was practically walking by the last 3 miles. So I was pretty happy with myself.
Yeah.
Like stomach horrible, everything horrible.
Yeah.
Really, the knowledge of nutrition, even now, only like less than 10 years later, is
It's
amazing. Like
crazy.
that, like then I had goo Roctane, which I'm sure people still use. But my stomach like could not handle that. Had no idea how to like fuel and drink water, and I just had no idea. So I got it together more. I ran 6 months later. I did the flying take, which has become a little bit of like my safe space of a
It's the flying
marathon.
pig.
It's in Cincinnati,
Okay.
Ohio. It's called Flying Pig Marathon. That was my second race and I
You
won.
know who, hold on, you won. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I've won it 3 times.
Wow. Well, all right. So what'd you get? What was your time the first time you won?
My first time I did it in 2018 when it was my second marathon. I ran a 246,
Oh, wow. What was the
So
Olympic trial time?
245.
Okay. That's right.
Yeah. So at the time I was chasing 245.
Yeah. So
First
close.
marathon, first marathon, December 2017, 256. 6 months
Yeah.
later, 6 months later, got it together, learned how to run. I still don't say I learned how to run the race, but I just had
Got better.
more under my belt and 246. I was like 90 seconds away from it. So I was like, holy crap, I can do this.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. And then I ran CIM at the end of 2018 and I ran 242. So it was like, so my experience, my first 3 races, I had
Yeah.
such big PRs.
Huge.
Then all within a year. And I was like, wow, this is going great. What could go wrong?
Yeah. Exactly.
Nothing. I'm
Nothing.
going to get so fast.
I'm
So
going to hit 220s.
yeah, I'm going to be amazing. But then 2019 was a bit of a rough year. I got bit by a dog, attacked by a
What?
dog I've had a lot of
Oh
crazy
my
things happen.
God.
I got attacked by a dog on a run, put me out like I was
What
training.
happened? Tell me about the dog attack, unless that's too.
Yeah, this
Right.
is a blast from the past, but I was like, let's see, CIM was December 2018. So the beginning of 2019, I took a break and then started training again. It was like March. So I was out on a run here in Fort Worth and I was by myself. It was like a cold morning. I remember it because no one was out. And I was like, oh, wow, scared of the first cold day. And I was wearing a sweatshirt and I'd stopped at my car, took the sweatshirt off and ran like I was about to meet my friends in 15 minutes. So I'm like, I'm going to run a mile out and a mile back. And I got to the mile out and then Fort Worth on the Trinity Trail, there's a train yard like over on the other side. And this pit bull just runs down the hill from the train yard and starts running right at me and just jumped up. And I like put my arm up to protect myself and it like yanked me down. And I was bit, not here. I was bit on my arm, my back, my legs. He like scratched me down a few times. So that was a bit of.
How'd you get him off?
I just started screaming, and then this woman who came running towards me, like, started throwing rocks at us, and she got him with one and grabbed
Hopefully didn't
me.
get you.
No, I was like, "Your aim is crazy." She got to me and then he stopped, and then somebody else was walking up towards us, and
Wow.
they, like, grabbed the dog, and ambulance came and animal
Oh my
control. It
gosh.
was as a dog lover, like, this is a very hard story to tell
Yeah.
because I have a dog scratching at my door right now on the outside who wants to be part of this and wants to
Yeah.
come inside. And I'm dog obsessed. So it is very difficult because it's so hard to, it's just sometimes things like this really do just happen and
Yeah.
it's horrible. Took me out for a little bit. I did end up running like a marathon like 9 weeks after that, which was horrible. And I like literally was like, I don't know why I did that to myself. I probably should have sat it out, but I also just felt like I didn't want it to keep holding me
Yeah.
back. So I took the rest of 2019 and just sat with this tragic, just crazy thing that happened. And then
Yeah.
I started training for the Olympic trials, which were February 2020. And I got in really good shape and had a great day. It feels like a lifetime ago because it's
Mhm.
also like pre-COVID.
It was 5 years
Um,
ago too. Yeah.
5
And
years ago, it is
pre-COVID,
a long time. And
kind of COVID started then. Like that
yeah,
was,
it was
you're lucky
2
you even
weeks
ran it.
it was 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look back on it all the time. Wow, I can't even believe that there was like that, and then it was
Crazy.
like a total shutdown. But anyway, and from that point in my life, then a lot can be like I can fast forward a little bit through
Yeah.
like COVID running and then getting back into it and then trying to
Well,
make another play at
how'd
20.
your, fair enough, but
Yeah.
you said it went well. What does that mean? Like, how did that
I
go
ran
to,
so yeah, I went to Atlanta and I ran a 2:48. That course was so hard. Like
yeah.
I got there and I'm like, I knew the elevation gain was going to be something, but this was like you were seeing women drop like left and right. Like I remember being like, just don't walk because if I start walking, I will not stop. Like we were in the last 2 miles and I was like, do not walk. And then once I found out, like at the end, when you hear about who all like just stepped off and took themselves out of it, you're like, all right. So I was valid for thinking that this was really hard. It was
Mhm.
like 1,400 feet of
Oh, wow.
elevation
That's pretty good.
gain and loss. Like for every step you took up, you went down. And I just was like shredded by the end of it.
Are you
But
a
it was
downhill person or no?
no, I
Not
don't
really.
thrive in a
Okay.
downhill environment. I do much better with a hill.
Okay.
But like downhills really kill my legs. So like any revel race, I don't think that would be for me. I think it would shred my quad.
I
I
think
need to climb. Like I am a climber.
marathons are tough for,
Yeah.
like, I love rebel races, just the halves.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty shredded for the next 3 days after. But
Yeah.
people that go and do those marathons, especially if you're from Dallas, Fort Worth area, you're going to be screwed.
It's so tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
Marathon is
trained
crazy to do it.
I've trained a friend of mine for pikes.
Yeah.
And the whole thing. And he was an older guy and you just have to remember, Cait, like you're just trying to get me through it. Like I
Yeah.
don't care how fast I do it. And that was a great experience because getting
Yeah.
somebody just like through a marathon is much different training than getting them to
Yeah,
the
of
finish line
course.
at a certain time. So it was actually fun because I was like, okay, you're just going to go run up and down the biggest hill in Fort Worth
Yeah.
20 times, have fun, make a circle out of it
Yeah.
and enjoy. It's really tough. But yeah, I actually struggle even in races that have like very little elevation, like
Yeah.
Chicago. I had other factors going in Chicago back in 23, but I didn't even love that because I do like to climb. Like Cincinnati is such a hilly course.
Yeah.
There's so many climbs that I'm like, yeah, I've always enjoyed that. I was a cross country runner, like at heart. I loved cross country.
Mm.
I probably could have run a 10K faster in cross country than I could on a track. That is just where I was at. And my coach now, who was my coach in college, will also attest to that. She's the one that gives me the workout. She knows what every bit of data shows. So she's funny whenever she gives me workouts, so she knows I'm gonna like that.
Have you ever done any trail running?
No, I really haven't.
Really?
One,
I'm not
mainly
okay.
because I
You know?
think I've just been so hyper focused on the
Yeah.
road. I tend to get very like single track minded and I just get so focused on I'm just going to do this. It probably would just take somebody to take my blinders off to lead me in that path and maybe I would like it, but I haven't done it
You could be the
myself yet.
next Courtney DeWalter.
Yeah, hey, I don't know. She just ran at like a 2:49.
Yeah, which is actually pretty great when you think of
Amazing. Yeah,
she doesn't
she's
ever run marathons like that. But
no, I'm like, that's so fast. I want to do
just think
that
if
on
she
a
actually trained
yeah,
like you do,
and in
just
like
for marathon. That's
basketball
good.
shorts,
Yeah,
in Solomon's.
yeah,
You go, girl. That's amazing.
exactly.
She's so cool. Probably like brushing her teeth after every time she takes like a certain gel. It's her thing.
Yeah,
So
look, great athlete. But
yeah,
I think that's really cool. Did you? So I see that you run pretty fast. By the way, I
yeah,
didn't mean to say something. I think that Cincinnati race that you run, I think talking to Maddie Steyer and her sister,
yeah. Mhm.
do you know them? Or at least Maddie?
I do know Maddie. Yeah.
Grace is their sister.
Okay.
Anyways, I think they talk about that marathon, that they've
Yes,
done it a
I
few
think
times
she's
and they
done it.
love it. Yes. Okay. All right.
The
I was making sure. I was like,
people-
I've heard that marathon
yeah.
before.
The
So yeah.
people, it's such a well-run race and the like course environment is really great. And it is a really challenging course, but I guess I don't always feel like, all right, I got to get ready for this hill.
Yeah.
It naturally like progresses for me and I really just enjoy it. I've run the race 4 times. I've won it 3 times.
That's pretty
Love it.
awesome.
The last time I won it was back in 2023. I
Okay.
ran in a monsoon. I ran a 2:45
That's
and
good.
which was fun. My fastest time on that course is 2:43. I
Okay.
ran that in 2021 and yeah, I love it so much, but I haven't gone back in a couple of years just cuz I've had some other focuses and it's
Mhm.
just like let's mix it up. Let's try to do some other races.
Yeah.
I don't know what my plan is for next year. I don't think I'll be ready to race at that time next year anyway yet, but we'll see. Not sure yet.
See what happens, see how your
Yeah.
body heals and you get to
Yeah. That's my
what's
biggest
marriage
thing.
gonna be like? Who
Yeah.
knows?
My biggest thing
Life is
is like,
changing.
yeah, my biggest thing is like, how is my body going to
Yeah.
respond? And I don't want to push it so fast to force
Smart.
myself to be ready by a certain time. I've never gone through anything like this before. I've never had a major surgery and I'm
Mhm.
not just recovering from a normal injury. This is like
No.
an internal, very difficult thing to overcome, like physically. So I'm just really taking it very cautiously and I'm not trying to jump into anything fast.
But you did tell me you're gonna start running the next 3 or 4 weeks from now.
Maybe if I get the okay. If I
I mean, it's
did
not that long.
yeah, you're right. It's more because my doctor wants me to feel normal. Like
Yeah.
she is a runner herself. So I will give this to you if you don't abuse it.
Yeah.
And I think it's more like for my own, I can get up in the morning and go on a jog and
Yeah.
clear my head and then go to work. I'm not really focused right now on being like, I have to meet my running buddy at 5 and do
Yeah.
my workout and then get home by 6:30. So I'm in the office by 7:15. So I'm
Mhm.
just trying to I'm going to look at it more as like, I have this great gift that is given back to me that I can enjoy it and not look at it as, what am I going to train for next? What do I have to do
I mean, I think
faster?
yeah, just try to enjoy the moments for what it is.
Yeah.
And look, you might come back stronger and better just because you've been in pain for so long and had
I
problems for so long.
think that might be the case. I know that I have that
Super
in
young.
me.
So
Yeah, I'm still young. I think that's going to
love it.
be the case. And I think it'll happen naturally.
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
will. So we did a few things I want to talk about. One is y- I see that you've run a really fast marathon under 240, right? Tell me about
239.
that. 239. Okay. Tell me about that.
That was CIM 2022. That was
Okay.
probably where I had some of the best training from the beginning of like end of 21 into 22. I had just run since Cincinnati in 2021 and then I
Mhm.
didn't run I ran Cincinnati in October 2021 and then I didn't run another marathon until the end of 2022. So I had that big long like gap. I
Yeah.
usually do thrive too when my marathons are a year apart. I'm not a person really that should be
Do
running
a
every 6
bunch.
months. I like my body seems to respond better if I do one a year. So I'll keep that tucked in the back of my brain when I do have a comeback. But
Exactly.
I went into this CIM, like that CIM training cycle, and I just felt really good. And I had a lot of really good workouts, and
Mhm.
I was just really focused. And I remember, I just, when you have those training blocks where you could just remember some of your
Yep.
runs and you remember how good they felt, and you remember like
Mm.
mentally, like nothing could hurt you and nothing was going to stop you. And I remember getting to that race and just being like ready. My only thing was like my last, this is always the case. It's the last 4 to 5 miles, usually the last six. And I would say like my pace went from 5:55 to 6:15, which was my old marathon pace.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't be upset with myself because I was like, the fact that my like wheels falling off
There's a 6:15.
became my old marathon pace. Like I have to be really proud of like how this
Yeah.
turned out. And so I had a lot of hopes that I was going to hit to 36:59. And then 2023 just didn't really shake out to be the year that I thought. I like was my symptoms started getting, that's where
Mhm.
I can really start pinpointing a lot of my symptoms getting worse. And I probably should have pushed and advocated for myself a lot sooner, but I didn't because I didn't really know any better. I can see I can remember a very intense shift in like my ability to recover and my ability to train like around the summer of 2023 going into Chicago. And then Chicago, like, day of slash the day before, like numbness in my legs,
It's just it's crazy.
couldn't keep any food down. It was just terrible, terrible experience. I still didn't have a bad day. I ran a 2:46, which
Damn.
is not a but when you are, and also you mentioned this a little bit, like I have created somewhat of a career for myself as an influencer.
Yeah.
So if you want to get into that topic too, like when you put your goals so strongly on the internet, I'm going to run a 2:36:59, and then you don't, someone might find a way to really be like, oh, can't believe she missed that. Or what's her excuse going to be? Someone's always critiquing like how somebody formulates their excuse for how they ran. You're allowed, like, everyone's allowed to be like, I had a bad day because of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Like,
Of course.
who cares what anyone's excuses is? Or and they're not excuses. Like, it's just whatever. Focus on your own race, literally and figuratively. But
I agree.
I remember a lot of positive comments like coming from people about running a 2:46 and like still having what a great time. So brave to put your goals out there. And then I remember like one negative comment.
Yeah.
It's always
Exactly.
like
We
that,
always
right?
focus on that, don't we?
One negative comment where somebody is like, wonder what story she's gonna run with. These are the ones that matter, but this one's holding the weight in my brain.
You've actually sparked up a few more questions, but
Yeah,
I'll tell you a little story because recently I just PR'd and I'm 50, right? And so
amazing.
I just PR'd in a half marathon. I've been running for a long time,
Yeah.
and to PR overall for me is a big deal for anything. And so I did it. I did a Rebel downhill half. I did it. It's my second time, and I got a 126, and I was so proud of it. And I've been learning a lot more because my job is community management. So I build online communities and do a lot of social type things and
Yeah.
whatever. But and so I thought I want to learn more about Reddit. I've been doing Reddit stuff for the last couple of years, but not. I'm still learning a lot from it. I guess because look, Reddit has become so important, even to like Google search, that it's the first thing that pops up on Google on everything now. And
The
so,
number of times I've gone on Reddit to be like, how long was your
uh
open myomectomy recovery? And then you like
yeah,
see all this and you're like, okay, like that, she commented that 2 days ago and that, okay, cool. Like it's helpful to
exactly.
have.
So there's some helpful things on Reddit, and there's just some not helpful things. I posted in the Garmin kind of
Been there.
subreddit, and
Yeah.
I was like, I had this cool pic, and I was like, oh, I did it in the age of 50, did it 126, whatever. And I would say 95% of the things were absolutely great, likes and really great comments. And
Yep.
all I could focus in on were the jerks that were just saying, you could have just rolled down that hill and got a. I was like, dude, what is your best?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I didn't train for this. Did it help me? Yes, I already said that.
It
All I
is
cared
tough.
about was the negative shit, you know?
Yes, it is very tough. And back to this like influencer world that I've put myself in. And I used to hate that I was an influencer because I was like, no, I'm an athlete. Like
Yeah.
I'm fast. The reason people follow me are because like I've gotten or because I'm running fast and I'm
Yeah.
showing it and like I'm showing it in like how it works in my life. No, not an influencer. Boo, bad. And then I came to accept it and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? This actually isn't bad. I've created a second income for my
It's awesome.
life. And I, back to the SNU topic, had a lot to pay back. And
Sure.
I saw it as like a opportunity to like, and
Why not?
why not? And then you see, if you ever read it yourself, you ever read it your own name, and you
Mm.
see so much bad about you. And I will say, I don't get it as bad as a lot of other influencers. And I've had my name thrown on there a few times, not as much as most anyone else. I think when I found out that Reddit page existed, I was so like pitchfork about it. Like, how dare you? Why? I know that's just a people pleaser too. I'm like,
Yeah.
how can you hate me? I'm so like, what did I do? And try to
You don't have
like,
to do anything.
then you try to like formulate your content so everyone loves you. It still doesn't work. Trust me. Then you
Okay.
just hate yourself.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and so I've had to come to peace with the fact that that exists and it's okay. And if people want to talk, say something about me and talk shit or I don't know. I don't think it's really bullying. Like, maybe at one point I did. I don't really
Mm.
feel that way anymore. Like people just need a place to vent. And if I'm the person they want to vent about, great, cool. I guess that it can hurt my feelings. Like I need to be better at protecting my own feelings.
Yeah.
So like, why even look at my own name? And I used to not be good at this. I would be like, let's just find everything mean that anyone's ever said. And I've changed my tune on that. I see it as
It's not productive, to be honest.
it's
Hard not to at the beginning to focus on that, but everybody's going to like this podcast, for example, not necessarily
yeah.
this podcast, but this overall podcast.
No, it's me. Maybe the Redditors won't like this one because of me, but you never know. You just don't know.
No, just
Hopefully not. I'm so sorry.
you're fine. No, and we'll talk a little bit more about that if you want, but I'm curious to know more about the community that you built around you. Tell
Oh,
me more
wow.
about
Yeah.
that, from a
Um,
running standpoint.
the running group here, like I have in Fort Worth, is so amazing. Like they are my lifeline. They are the best women around that I know. I've had, speaking of the sloths, Joel Hernandez
Mhm.
become one of my closest friends, and he and I started running a lot together too. So like the community here is phenomenal and they've become like such close like sisters to me and Joel's like a brother and Joel I call him Joel because it's easier to yell at him when he's doing a rep. I'm like go and they're just I can count on them for anything. They've all delivered me dinner in the last 3 weeks. They've all
Wow,
come to
that's
see
awesome.
me. I don't feel like I've the village is strong here and I'm very grateful for it. And they're such phenomenal people. And they all know the inner workings of my life and I know the inner workings of theirs and just great to lean on. And then I think I've built some of that too into the online community that I have. I have been very vocal and very open about what I'm going through. And I feel like that's the only way like I can have the community that I do that's so supportive. And I've just been flooded with so many kind messages of recovery and like just get better and hang in there. And we know you got a lot going on, but like we're really pulling for you. And things like that make me feel encouraged at a time when I feel low. There are days where I feel maybe terrible and I'm spiraling, but then I open my phone and I send doom scroll, but then I see I have a message and sometimes I don't even have stories up. And then if you don't have stories for a few days, maybe somebody takes notice of that
Yeah.
and they send you a message. They're like, hey, I'm sure this is really hard. I just want to I've been thinking about you and I think that you're doing amazing and it's going to be okay. And like things like that will just really lift me up
Mm.
out of a funk. And I've been really grateful for a lot of the community that's been around on there. And I just think that I've been really lucky to have that.
Is there other women that you run with that run at the same speed or?
Oh, yeah. We formed a group back in 2018, 2019, when 5 of us went to the Olympic trials
Oh, wow.
in 2020 from Fort Worth, from our group. So we were
What's this
called
group called? Yeah.
the Fort Worth Distance Project. We have all somewhat now different goals. Back 5 years ago, there was a lot of just like 2020 focus. Now there's a lot more kids involved
Yes.
and there's a lot of other
Life happens.
goals. Life has happened. I think I'm the only one that hasn't in the last 5 years gotten married yet or had a child.
You're about to get married, so.
I'm about to get married, so we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, that has been everyone's journey and it's been really cool to watch.
Cool.
Everyone has been back in 2020, we were all
Hard,
sub 245, fast, hardcore, had
fast
met
women. Yeah.
met every day at 4:45, no questions asked, fast women. It was cool.
How do you, and maybe we don't dive too deep in there, but I'm curious about, you said you had a coach and stuff like that. So when you think
Yeah.
about training, what does that kind of look like on a,
Yeah.
let's say, daily basis?
So I like it, like when you have other women that you're training with that don't have the same coach.
Yeah.
So there's always just this we're all very able to communicate what our workouts were. So I would be like, I have a tempo run. I'm going to run my warm up like for these 2 miles. And then this is where I'm planning to go. And someone else was like, great, I have 3 miles, reap 2 times. So we'd always, because it also is like a safety thing
Mhm.
too.
100%.
We'd always be within the same like mile area.
Yeah.
We'd all make sure that we were all within the same distance of each other. No one was too far away. I knew where our cars were, and we would just align ourselves with that. If someone had a 3 mile tempo and someone has 6 mile tempo, we're like, let's start together. Or if yours is faster than mine, like then you and I can like work off of each other.
Yeah.
But we did do a lot of those workouts around that time back in 2018, 2019. And then sometimes if it was like, I have Ks, someone else would be like, oh my God, I have Ks too. And you're like, finally, it would sync up. But we always were I also would say like, we're all very competitive people, but it never came out. Sorry, I've been nursing this cough. It never came out like we were really, really competitive with each other, like in
Yeah.
that setting. Like when we were racing, like
Yeah.
in Fort
Everybody's,
Worth
yeah.
out of it, I was like, don't talk to me beforehand. Love you. But like in our
We're not
day,
friends
yeah,
right now.
not my friend Liz. Get over there. No,
Yeah.
Liz Northern is one of my dear best friends.
Well, good.
But
I'm going to
when
have
we
her on. I've been meaning
when
to get
we
her.
race, oh my gosh, she will be our hoot and a half. She's so fun. She's
Yeah.
so
She
cool.
is. She is.
She's done so many amazing things. But Liz and I are competitive. But like when we're training together, she'll be like, not doing this last rep. I'm out. But like when we would get to a race, we're like, all right,
Who's this bitch? No.
let's do this today. Yeah. Let's go. I
Yeah.
would say Liz probably used to be like my number one, like she's also 5 years older than me. We went to the
Yeah.
same high school. Like we had a very similar trajectory.
That's
And
good.
I would say for a very long time when I was younger and Liz was more mature, in my mind, I'd be like, racist bitch. But she's become one of my absolute best friends. She just
That's
went on
awesome.
my bachelorette party with me. Such a fun time. Yeah. It's such a cool group of people.
Might be worth getting the two of you on just to do kind of
We
a,
could. The comedy show would be nothing short
I
of
like it.
you'd need a ticket.
I'll do
It
it.
would be fun.
I know that you're about to get married, just had surgery, all this stuff, but as you think of the future for your running kind of career, what does that look like for you?
Let's see if I get into the race that I signed up for 2 weeks ago. I'm waiting to hear about the lottery for
Would
the
you?
Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be the only thing until I find out if I got in or not that I'm going to think about. It's far enough at the end of
Yeah.
the year next year. I think I would be giving myself like a very fair amount of time. It's like when it's August, early September. Am I totally off on that?
No, I think
September?
you're right. I think it's
Yeah,
September.
I think it's September. So I think I'd be giving myself a very fair amount of time
Yeah.
to heal, rest, and get there. If I don't get in, then I'll make another plan. But I'm only gonna look at one race at a time right now to just see
Yeah.
how my body heals. I can see 2026 being like a rebirth a little
Yeah.
bit of what can I do, and also a lot of this can grow from stress and from high cortisol and lack of vitamin D. It is also hereditary too. I don't have anyone in my family that has had a fibroid, so I don't know where it would have come from other than these factors that I've just learned about. So I also need to learn how to manage my own stress because running people are like stress management. I'm like, actually, it puts a lot of stress on you. So I need to like, I want 2026 to be a year where I learn how to focus on my health, like my physical, emotional, like health, so that I'm not like sleeping 5 hours a night again and running 50 miles a week off of 5 hours of sleep at night and like taking care of myself in a much healthier way rather than just like my foot is on the gas to the floorboard, which is how I normally operate. So I want that. I want this to be like a learning time where I can figure out that is a good way to do things. And that's just how I am wired. But like, how can I do that and keep myself healthy?
I think that if you think about the rest of this year, anyways, you're forced to, I'm not saying not be stressed, but you're certainly forced to slow down a little bit from a
Yeah,
running standpoint, right?
totally.
And in my mind, you should just allow yourself to embrace that and not allow yourself to worry. You're just not going to be able to run,
No,
or run that
exactly. Yeah.
much or run that
And
hard. You just not,
or run that structured.
or
When
either
we
that.
like when we get back from, because I'm also like, if you have people on here that listen to this that are DFW runners, probably most of them have run with me or followed me, they might tell you that I am very structured. Like I
Yeah.
do abide by a regimen. And this will be a time for me in the next 2 or 3 months where
Yeah.
I don't have structure, which is very new for me. I'm usually like my rest day is Wednesday, and that you'll never make me change it. And my this is this
Yeah.
day, and I'm a long run on Saturday, and I will not
Kate's not doing
game.
this. She's doing
Yeah.
this.
So this is my time to really like, hey, if I can't run that day because it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Or then we have holiday plans and then we have Christmas. And so it's definitely a time for me to learn like the how to factor my life into running too.
Yeah. Is there anything that I completely missed that you're like, man, we really need to talk more about this?
No, I think, man, and I'm a yapper, and we went over an hour. So I think we might have covered all of it, unless we want to get more into the journey. But I think we covered a lot of things.
We can do this more than once if you want. But
Totally. Yeah.
well, this has been great, Kate.
I love
And
it.
I had a ton of fun. You're very easy to talk to. I just truly enjoyed it. And you've had a
Thank you.
great running journey. And it's really cool to, like,
You too with your new 126 PR.
yeah,
Heck yeah. That's so cool.
our stories.
Don't let the people that are like, you just rolled down the mountain. Don't let them
Yeah,
say it.
exactly. I'd say, I don't think I would have wanted to roll down that mountain anyways.
Oh, jeez. God. It's hard.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to another DFW Running Talk. I'm Chris Stetzel. Don't forget to rate and review us and sign up for our newsletter. It's at DFW Running Talk, .substack.com. Kate, thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.